So hello again, everybody. We've actually done basically two commentaries back to back. They probably won't appear on the website or anything back to back because we've got to upload them one at a time, and that will take hours. However, in any case, though, we did both of these, this and Rainbow Factory today. So a beautiful day in Equestria. This one actually takes a little bit of explanation to start with. Is once again, of course, I've got Petirep here.
Yes.
But this was intended to be a short one. This was just going to be real quick, a nice quick transition. We thought we could hammer it out in about a week, and then we'd move on to our next projects. Unfortunately, I think you had to move, and
a bunch of stuff. I had it started off I was at work, and then it was like the last week of work, and then I had a vacation. I had to go with my family, a family reunion, and then I had to pack up and move over to college and settle in. So this was all being made around that turbulent time, and I just did not have much time to do anything.
Yeah, so it wound up taking longer than a week, and so it's not. This is not really what I considered at the time a full Rainbow Dash Presents. It was just a quick one, kind of a joke. Somebody recommended on Tumblr that I do this, and I thought like, oh, that would be a great way to ruin my own fic, and so I chose to do that. And that was actually the point of this entire Rainbow Dash Presents, was just to ruin my own fanfic, because it made me laugh. But a beautiful day in Equestria. Yeah, I wrote this one, the original fic for this one, and also we've got a comment on here that's like he didn't write it. In fact, Sir Politic MB is currently has asked him to take it down, and we'll see how things play out.
Oh,
And,
that's the best one ever.
Yeah, I considered actually sending myself a notice, like publicly, to take it down, and then I was going to get in a big fight with myself, but then I thought, oh god, YouTube would totally just take the video down, and I would never be able to get it back up, no matter what I did, and so I decided against that. So
I guess that would kind of relate back to our previous commentary where we talked about pirating from ourselves.
yes, YouTube.
So we can
YouTube
actually literally be our own pirates this time.
They're so terrible. Like the way that their system works is they just accuse you of stuff. They're like, we think you're stealing. They're like, we want you to prove that you're not stealing, and then they don't give you any information. Like they don't tell you what makes them think that you're stealing. So you just have to kind of justify the entire video. And with a video like this, it's not as bad because it's only 6 minutes. It's still bad because we've got like a full animation, voices, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, the
that
first
we have to justify.
After Effects animation.
Yeah, and imagine though trying to do that with like Rainbow Factory, which is a half-hour long, and just trying to figure out like, all right, what do you not like? Is it a sound effect? Is it a song? Is it my voice? Is it like an image that we used? What are you not liking? But they don't tell you. They never do. And so it becomes a witch hunt kind of thing where they're just terrible. It's like prove. They're trying to get us to prove a negative. It's like saying prove there's no Bigfoot and we'll release your video. And it's like you can say there's no evidence that Bigfoot exists, but because there's no Bigfoot in the first place, there's no evidence to prove the negative. So that's how YouTube works, is that they ask you to prove a negative, and we can't prove the negative. So yeah, this one we got through. But yeah. They give us Haunting Nightmare. We had that problem, and I've learned my lesson about that since. Is I held on to it. And it was just like one of those things. It was like, so, I mean, maybe they'll approve it, maybe they won't. And I just kept waiting. And I thought, like, if I release it now, then surely enough, it'll, I think I brought that up, though, in the commentary already. So we're just getting redundant.
Yes.
Yeah, point being, let's move on. Let's go ahead and get to the actual video.
All right, go ahead.
Sorry. 3, 2, 1.
And look, it's the new Rainbow Dash.
Yeah. We've updated Rainbow Dash because things have changed a lot with your art style.
Yeah. Like, I was still using the same old image that I did for Bubbles, and I'm like, I can't stand this image anymore. I need to make a new one. So finally decided, I'm just going to make a new one. I'm glad I did.
This one we've got some actual animation going on.
Mm-hmm. And not in quotes, but actual animation.
Yeah. She got surprised. And so my original fic was actually just very dry. It was kind of a it was a surreal fic. It's actually got labeled as surreal shipping on Equestria Daily, and it's the only fic on there that has surreal shipping. So it's the only one with that tag. So, but the whole thing was just about like it hadn't rained in days. It was a beautiful day every single day, and and it was kind of a parody almost of all the fan fiction that I've read that has to do with like shipping and all these other things. And it's kind of like a lot of authors like to kind of change things or create situations specifically for their stories, and they don't always make a lot of sense. As they don't always try to think within the universe. They kind of want to do something and they step outside of it, and you know, like they'll do something strange. So this whole fic was just sort of the fic that I wrote was just like the characters, everything is just strange and a little bit out of place, and so the characters were Twilight figured it out and she was really happy about it. So. But
you had to twist my arm to get me to do this scene.
I did. I was like, all right, can you draw them kissing? And you're like, seriously? And she goes, yes.
I'm glad I did, because that was really, it turned out really funny.
It was.
I totally cheated for the library scene. You see the wall, there's a hole in the wall and it's like repaired, kind of like after Haunting Nightmare. But I put the kitchen in there as well, and the kitchen was totally not in there in Haunting Nightmare, but you don't have to notice that. Just pretend I didn't say that.
It's okay. Twilight's house changes like that anyway.
Yeah, that's my excuse. It's like, well, they do it in the show all the time, so checkmate.
Yeah. Just depends. Somebody asked what these are that she's eating. They're thistles. Which I just thought was fitting for Twilight to eat thistles.
There's a little Don somewhere guy on the hill. And he's gone.
Goodbye.
This was such a fun scene to animate, this long shot. And basically what it was is I just did a couple walk cycles with her looking in the different directions. And then in After Effects, I took, I think the foreground was an animated sequence, and then the background was just stills, long stills that I just animated and had move across at different speeds. And I just love the way that came out. The end.
The end. Nice short one. And like I said, yeah, see, this was about 3 minutes long. And then, of course, Auburn Lady. And someone commented, I don't know why it resized that image like that. I checked them out. I noticed it do that. I didn't figure it out, though. I never figured out what caused it to do that.
Yeah, after that, I even went back and checked, like, did I send you, like, the wrong size? I'm like, no, I don't know why I did that.
No, yeah, Vegas resized it. Or something, I don't know.
Darn it, Vegas.
The string. But, yeah, so anyway, Auburn Lady. Somebody commented that they actually, they took the words from this song, the lyrics, and they rewrote them to make them a little bit more poetic, and they sent them to a girl. Well, actually, I kind of wrote Auburn Lady for a girl in the first place, so it sort of cracked me up that somebody did that. They said, like, oh, I'll let her know later, but you don't have to credit me for it or anything like that. She doesn't have to know. She'll figure you out sooner or later. She'll like you for you, so, roll with it.
And apparently it worked, so...
Yeah, he said it worked.
Yeah, awesome.
Acting silly. My heart is willing.
So I think people really want to know what's up with this closing sequence here.
Okay, so the closing sequence was really the point of the entire video. Was that in A Beautiful Day in Equestria, and I did this specifically because I wrote the fic and I had the power to declare this canon, and I did. This is the canon ending for this fic because it makes me laugh to, like, when I posted A Beautiful Day in Equestria, it actually got a lot of thoughtful analysis from a lot of people, as most of our comments were very, they were kind of interested in the fic. They discussed sort of like, what does it mean, what do we like about it, what do we dislike. I think it got a 4-star rating in the end, which is okay, I guess. But yeah, it was just very different. And so anyway, though, so we got a lot of people kind of trying to analyze it. Some of them thought they didn't like it. Some of them thought that some of the metaphors were a little bit ham-fisted. I got a lot of fair input on the whole thing. But the fic originally ends with just Twilight running off into the Everfree. But one thing I was aware of when I wrote the fic was, and people even pointed this out, they were like, so she just runs off into the Everfree, but she only went there because the writer sent her there in the first place. And it's true, and I was aware of it when I wrote the fic, that so she runs off to the Everfree and then does, like, what's in the Everfree? And so I decided that this would be, some people asked for sequels to A Beautiful Day in Equestria, because they wanted to know, what did Twilight find? And here's your answer. She finds a bar full of gorillas, and in that bar, there is a handsome young gorilla who falls in love with a lady gorilla.
Who's reading books at a nightclub for some reason.
Yeah, she's got really good eyes, and so she's just yeah. the noise and flashing lights help her concentrate.
Well, of course.
Yeah, the alcohol too. It makes it really easy to focus on whatever she's reading. She's reading Hunger Games. I'm gonna guess. Nice and easy, no matter what's going on.
Did you finish reading that, by the way? I remember you saying you were reading
Hunger
that.
Games? Yeah, I read it and I annotated like the first half of it. I've got some really kind of hilarious annotations. Let me see. What?
Yeah,
Here
I
we
mean,
go.
that's what's in
Books
the
right on
movie is
hand.
bats and gorillas.
Let me flip to a random page. Ah, here we go. One of my annotations, my first annotation here I got that I flipped to, it says, "No pants, only victory." And that's because in the first half of the book, Katniss got naked so often. Like, I think, let's see, what did she say? Oh, this is just her getting naked again. And then I have, like, on the very next page, pants are obsolete because she gets naked again. But what was it? Somebody told her she could wear whatever she wanted, and I think at that point I was like, from then on, pants had no meaning.
I don't remember her getting naked in the movie.
She doesn't get naked in the movie, I'm sure. I didn't see the movie.
I've only
But-
seen the movie.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Here's the deal. It's just talking about, like, the drawers are filled with fine clothes, and Effie Trinket tells me to do anything I want. I can wear anything I want. And so I wrote in that one, from now on, pants are obsolete. I can wear whatever I want. I can choose to wear nothing. And instead she goes, I dress in a dark green shirt and pants. And so I wrote, solid green, fashionable. What kind of shirt though? Sweater, t-shirt, descriptors, try them. Yeah, the book, actually, Hunger Games, I will say it's not a bad book. I understand why a lot of people like it. But it's just a very skin in your teeth kind of read. Like, you just blaze right through it. I was done in about a day. I mean, it was one of those things, and that was with me annotating the thing, because it cracked me up so much. It was just like, in some cases, it was worse than some of the pony fan fiction that we do. And yeah, here we go. Oh, here, there's like scenes where Katniss sits down. She's like, here we go. So I'm pondering the reason why he insists on taking care of Haymitch, and all of a sudden I think it's because he's being kind, just as he wants to give me the bread. And so I put in begin query love 1011111111111 because I don't know, it's difficult to explain, but point being that Katniss thinks kind of like a robot. The average person thinks with their emotions first, and then we use logic to actually kind of understand our emotions and figure out why we feel the things we do. Katniss uses her logic to have emotions. So she does things like that. She's like, I have decided that Petirep, why do I want to do? I have decided that PETA, that's why I did that. I decided that PETA is being nice, and so then she decides to have feelings for him based on whatever, So yeah, throughout the book, she's like a robot. She doesn't think like a human. So yeah, but Hunger Games, we did not make a video on that. We made a video on a fanfic I wrote.
Up next, Rainbow Dash presents 50 Shades of Grey.
Yes, I have not read that. But,
which is apparently a fanfic, actually. Did you know 50 Shades of Grey was originally a fanfic of Twilight?
Yeah, I had heard about that.
I don't know, I'm not surprised, actually. So
No, that's yes. So, I hope everyone learned an awful lot about the making of that particular video, because we told you nothing about how we made the video.
Yes.
But you do know maybe some of why we made the video. And in any case, though, we're starting to drag on, so I think that's going to have to be it.
All right, bye-bye.
Goodbye!